They have our professor of Grimdark Studies, Dr. Christopher Patane. Also present as both the angel and devil. Yeah. You can decide which is which. On the shoulder. Army, Nick Betancourt, you want on my head. And
I am Tilio. I am the TA.
I'm more the shithead student, doesn't really want to be there. But
it's a gen ed, so.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. All right, so.
Turn it up.
Okay. Is this better? Okay, there we go. All right. So, yes, Attilio will be my fellow expert. Nick is going to try and keep things on pace. He is going to fail.
This on try.
He'll be very loud about it, though. So, anyway, this is something that I have called Dark Ages and Dickheads. It is a quick introduction into the current state of Warhammer 40k. So if you're here for Warhammer Fantasy, sorry, you're shit out of luck. That's someone else can do that later. Anyway, why are we here? So ideally, if you know nothing about the setting, by the end of this, you will have a basic understanding of the setting. Maybe you'll find a faction that you like. I will basically go through all of the main relevant factions. Some of them you can play on the tabletop, but I don't really care because I don't play the game. I just read the lore because I have no life. And if you don't like this, this is JV and Mia's fault. They did this. You are suffering because of them.
I would like to point out, for those of you who are truly lost, I know there's at least one in the audience, Warhammer 40k is a physical tabletop game that you play with painted miniatures and a fuck ton of D6 dice. It is also many, many other things. It's a video game, it's a comic book, it's a novel series, it's 1,000 things. But what it started as in the 80s was a tabletop game, and if people want to add more things that it is, they can, suck my dick. Anyway.
Is it cheap and easy to get into?
No. It's basically just playing with dolls. But anyway, so what are the general vibes of this setting? We don't care about the actual human history of it. This is about the fiction. Something to keep in mind, you will hear the term, if you get into this world, grimdark a lot. It just means everything sucks all the time. Nothing ever gets to be good ever. If you are happy, you are doing something wrong, and you will probably die. It likes to open with talking about if you live in this universe. I have to say this because lots of people are like, oh, cool, there's like dudes with power armor in space. I want to live there. You don't. Because you are living in literally the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. All of the worst things governments have ever done, they're all doing it combined. And no, it's like Texas, but worse, because they're British. Also, if you live in this setting, you are always at war. It is an eternity of carnage and slaughter, and the laughter of thirsting gods. We'll get to those gods in a second. Second point, every single person that you see in the setting is a bad guy. There's no such thing as a good guy. The people who say they're good guys are actually just bad guys who have bad self-reflection skills. That includes the person you're thinking of and also the woman you're thinking of. Especially her. Yes, women can be bad too, and in this setting they're bad. But also, we are camp. Everything is a ripoff, or homage if you want to be respectful, to some other sci-fi, and it's just intensified. So if you have seen it somewhere else, it is in this setting. Every stupid thing you can possibly think of is also in this setting. Yes, they have that. There is. Yes, we have Pokemon. So, if you can think of something you've seen in sci-fi and make it dumber and British, it's in here. So, the beginning. Why is this universe so fucked up? It takes place in the Milky Way. Why is everything so bad? Well, we have a couple people we can blame for that. Wow, that was ominous. So, I should say first, I mentioned gods. There are gods in this universe because there are 3 separate pieces of reality. We've got meat space. This is all the places that we live. This is where all like the main stuff happens. There are gods of that reality. They are called Satan. They are H.P. Lovecraft bullshit. Every one of them represents one of the laws of physics. They are not good, though. They go around the galaxy eating suns and doing crime. That crime being genociding people. They no longer are really around anymore for some shit we're going to talk about in a second.
They got eaten by skeleton zombies.
We'll get there.
Spoiler.
They're robot skeleton zombies, okay?
Sorry.
Then we have the layer underneath. We call this the warp. Every thought or emotion you've ever had is reflected there. And
the horny ones.
especially the horny ones.
Horny ones? So everyone's a bad guy.
We'll get to that. It's horny, but it's not good horny. It's the horny if like AO3 took a really dark turn.
If?
Yes.
It's like book talk horny.
Yeah, it's book talk horny. Yeah. Who's the really shitty author who does all the romance novels that are
Colleen
yeah,
Hoover.
that are like domestic abuse, but they're romance?
sorry,
Colin Hoover? Yeah. It's like if everything was written.
Like Lively movie where she sued Justin Bieber.
Colleen Hoover.
Thank you,
Okay.
Colleen Hoover.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, he's in there too. Don't worry. So every thought that every sentient being has gets reflected in this warp. It feeds one of the 4 chaos gods. We'll get to them later. It did not used to be this way. It used to be a pretty chill place. Now it's all fucked up. We'll get to why it's all fucked up. But the important thing about it is that it's where all the bad things live. And also humans use it for faster than light travel. They call it warp drive, like in Star Trek, except they're going through hell. Where if you played Minecraft and made a shortcut in the Nether to go somewhere in the overworld, it's like that if it's full of more demons.
Or Event Horizon.
Yes.
So every
The
time
demons
you like,
We're all nerds. We know how hyperspace works.
Some of the demons
never heard of this.
Some of the demons are overtly sexy. Some of the demons are sexy if you've got something wrong with you. But they will all kill you.
That
So-
just makes them sexy.
Yeah, and
We'll get there. It's not.
can you go to the warp really get laid for a little bit and then like
People do that, yeah. It doesn't end well for them.
Do you get laid? Do you get like space demon pregnant?
Yeah. In both directions, yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, no more questions. Next slide. No, next slide.
There are, in fact,
There you have no
there's in
laid
fact a
baby.
Space Marine chapter that intentionally gets demon pregnant so they can do an abortion on the demon to make them stronger.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, it would be a right wing talking point, but they are the right wing.
What
so.
the fuck is the ghost wind, Chris?
Thank you, Nick. Sorry. Here's the fun part. Nobody knows. It's been. That's where all the bad things happen. The Ghost Wind is a different piece of subspace that only the Necrons go to. We'll get to them in a second. They are the evil Egyptian space robots.
Yeah, space robots, skeleton zombies.
Nothing is there except for all the Necrons that have dysphoria. So we'll get there in a second. They're the only ones who use it. They can travel faster than everything else because they're magic. Because they're so. Yes.
Outstanding.
And also, shockingly, they are the horniest faction in the setting. So.
Are they?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Questions, 'cause I feel like I want to give inspiration for that question.
I don't know what to use it for, but sure. I don't care.
Inspiration.
I'm not paid enough to give a shit.
We're paying you? Yeah, you tackle you an adjunct, actually.
Don't even get me started. So, most of the gods we deal with are from this little warp thing, and they fuck things up really badly. So the Chaos Gods, there were originally only 3 of them. I just mentioned there were 4. We'll get to why the 4th one is there.
What his mother named him.
Yeah, well. The first one is corn, like the vegetable. Yes. And also has dreadlocks, actually, so that's a really good point.
Appropriation much?
They are.
Yeah. They're evil. Yeah. They don't care about your culture. They're evil. Okay.
That's fair. All right.
He likes skulls and blood. If you kill somebody, he is happy. If you do a lot of fighting, he likes you. However, if you sneak up and kill somebody, he does not like you. If you use magic, he especially does not like you. He wants you to stab people from the front.
I found my god.
No, consent is optional. Yeah, you need to.
Gotten to the other one.
You have to maintain eye contact for Corn to like
to the
it.
fuck god. We gotta get to the fuck god.
Oh, there's a fuck guy.
There is a fuck god. Yeah.
Spoilers. Shut up.
Then we have Nurgle. He is the god of pestilence and rot. He loves you because he also brings with him the acceptance that you are all going to die and rot in the ground. You can. No, because he's actually nice.
There you go.
But he gives you super cancer and then tells you he loves you. So.
No. It's actual Christian God, not Republican Jesus.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
Who is Tizenich?
Of this gross man?
What's that?
I said, we got any pictures of the gross man or visual learning?
No, I put this together in like 2 hours. I didn't get pictures early.
Put your pants back on.
This is already long enough. This is the.
Giggity.
And then we have the last of the original 3.
Old enough to know better.
This is Zinch. They are the god of change and also ambition and trickery. Yes.
Yes.
They love
I need you to say that again and slower.
Zinch.
Zinch.
Yes. They love schemes. If you scheme or plot, they like that. If you plot but also self-sabotage, they like that too. Because change involves change you don't expect. And so all of their plans that they make, they also fuck up for themselves. Yes, they just love things being different. We also have Gork and Work. They are the orc gods.
Is this the same Mork as Mork and Mindy?
I'm not familiar with that show, so no. Sorry, I'm old, but I'm not that old.
You just asked me how old I am.
It's the mic. Yeah.
We'll get to the orcs in a second. They're a bit of a special case. They have their own 2 gods. They don't fuck with the other ones. These guys do most of like the big evil shit in the setting, and they avoid Gork and Work because Gork and Work just roll through the warp fighting each other all the time. And if they roll through where these other gods are, they'll die. So they just stay out of the way. This, of course, all means magic is real, but magic in this setting is just bullshit you pull from the warp and bring into reality, which means all the bad shit and demons that live there can also come through, which is how you get demon pregnant. This causes lots of problems for everybody. Humans, as I said, use the warp to go faster than light and also to talk to each other beyond long distances. They use psychics to basically beam messages to each other. The downside is those messages are all just pictures. And because the warp is weird and fucky, they get distorted. And people don't get the message properly. They probably transmit horses, but that also feeds, like, nobody fucks in this universe. Except for the Necrons. I'm sorry.
Now I understand why people
I hear Space Marines have trouble with dick pics.
Space Marines are
Dickless.
technically all genderless, even though they are all men.
Or really, isn't the mech suit like its own gigantic penis? Aren't they basically just like...
Listen, I'm not a Freudian. Rudy's not here. That's his problem. Sometimes power armor is just power armor. I don't.
Sometimes power armor's just.
How many modes do they have?
Usually they're, if we're talking the Space Marines, they are killing things that they're supposed to kill, or oiling each other's armor up on their giant cathedral ships.
The mic icon.
No, they don't know how gay that sounds. But they are. They are. It is very gay. It is. No, they don't. They're incapable of knowing it. Also, there is this fun little thing in the setting where if enough people believe a thing, it becomes real because those beliefs go into the warp, and the warp is magic, so it makes things real.
Tinkerbell, what's Tinkerbell status?
I don't know. You're doing references from like when my parents were kids, so I don't.
Clap your hands if you believe. What kind of a faggot are you? Okay.
Chris, look how Nick's using his mic. Do it that way.
Yeah,
Very close.
Oh,
right
very
to
close?
your
Okay.
right. Like it's a dick, and you're about to suck it.
trade microphones because
So I keep
Nick already
keep
has
turning it down.
Enough voice.
Over here.
Yes, there we go.
Okay. Oh, that's way better. All right. So if enough people believe a thing, it becomes real. This will cause lots of problems. We'll get to the orcs later. That's how everything they do works, though. They just think about it real hard, and it happens. All right. Now, why does the warp suck?
I'm going to take a moment to just pause and say that for a professor, I need you to understand the concept of font sizes because what the actual fuck?
I let PowerPoint auto format this because I don't care.
Hell yeah.
See, this is why the American education system is.
Oh no, this is what happens when you don't pay your faculty.
Yes, this is AI built.
So,
This is no. I'm just gonna pause. This is not AI built, Christopher. This is genuine, 100% handmade human garbage.
yes. It's artisanal slop, okay?
Sir, I'm with Nick. Sorry, Chris.
That's fine. You could pay for it and it would look better.
Okay, sorry. Talk
Be nice
Anyway.
to Chris.
Wait, first, I'm so sorry. I need to ask. Who are these very?
We'll get to that.
Gentle beings?
If you stop interrupting, I can explain that part.
Well, then that's fine.
Okay. So the warp used to be fine because like things were fine, and then a couple of really old species fucked up for everybody. Humans aren't around yet, but they will show up soon and fuck it up even more. So originally, we have this species called the Old Ones. We don't know what their actual name for themselves was. They're just really old. They are your standard bullshit progenitor sci-fi aliens. They go around to a bunch of different planets, seeding life, doing stuff. And one day they're flying around and they meet the original space Egyptians called the Necrontyr. They all have cancer all the time because they live in a really fucked up solar system. So
I know
they,
a couple of toxic cancers for sure.
yeah.
Fuck you.
Super cancer on there.
Yeah. It is super cancer. They have a lot of really good technology. They still can't cure it because everything sucks. So they ask the old ones, hey, you're really good with magic and shit and can like create life out of nothing. Can you cure our cancer? The old ones told them to fuck themselves. Because the Necrontyr like war a little bit because they're just generational trauma all the way down. So they're like, all right, fine, we'll fuck you back and we're going to kill you. They fail. It turns out if you have super cancer, you can't actually kill. Yeah, you're.
I'm so sorry, Hex.
Yeah, we can't go back. I'm sorry.
You gotta just roll with it.
Turns out if you got super cancer, you can't like kill gods who can create life. However, the Necrontyr meet the Satan, the guys who eat suns, and the Satan are like, hey, we hate those old one guys because they're like, oh, that's so much later. Like we also hate these old ones. Why don't we team up and we'll help you kill these people that you don't like? The Necrontyr are like, cool, let's do it. The Satan then make a bunch of robot bodies for the space Egyptians and transfer them into it to make them immortal, in the process eating their souls.
Full body reconstruction.
Yes. Most of the original Necron just become mindless automatons. The ones who were in power or were noble keep all of their brains and get to live forever knowing that they fucked over their entire race. No, they actually have more self-reflection. Because these new Necrons in their new robot bodies go out, they kill the old ones because they still hate those guys. Then they're like, hey, they're kind of like that if they were nice. But they're like, cool, well, these star gods fucked us over. We're going to kill them. And they kill one of them. Then, because they represent one of the laws of physical reality, reality changes and nobody knows what it was. So the universe used to look entirely different. The Necrons killed one of the laws of physics and made the current galaxy the way it is. And they're like, oh shit, that's bad, we shouldn't do that. So their response is, turn them into Pokemon. They take their gods, they rip them into little pieces, and they stick them in little vaults and use it to power their technology. And then they're like, cool, well, we just killed two different celestial beings, or celestial species. All of the races that the old ones made to fight us during the war are still trying to kill us. That sucks. We're going to go to sleep for a while. And so they take a nap for 70 million years. They build a bunch of like Egyptian tombs, bury them, and go to sleep. And like, cool, we'll come back later. These things will have sorted themselves out, and we'll rerule the galaxy.
Before we go to the next slide, can you share the one thing, like the story bit about how they still feel breathing, but like...
Oh, yes. I was going to get to that later, but just point out. When they're in their metal bodies, they still feel all of the physical urges and needs that a flesh body does. So the entire time, their brain, or what's their computer chips that are modeled after their brain, are screaming at them that you're suffocating because you're not breathing.
Do they still
They still are like, I'm not pooping or peeing. I should be doing that. It's been thousands of years. What's wrong? And they go a little bit insane as a result.
They want
Get
to
no
poop and they can't
satisfaction.
poop.
Also,
Nope.
Shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's that?
sex.
Yeah. Also, they still want to eat food. They still want to bone, but they can't because they're stuck in these robot bodies. No.
No bone.
Not even a
No.
little bit.
Not even a little bit.
What
No.
about their birthday?
No, not even on their birthday.
Break skateboard.
Don't worry, this won't fuck them up for eternity at all. They will be perfectly fine. But that's 70 million years in the future because they're taking a nap right now. And in the meantime, these guys are dead.
Oh, is that the guitar?
Those are the old ones.
Oh, the old one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we think they might look like because no Games Workshop has never actually released an image of them. That's just they're all dead. They're all napping.
Green or napping? Wait, the ones
Yeah.
that are napping are the ones that
Green
can't.
or napping?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
They went to sleep. Were they blue before they were dead?
Is it
What's that?
really a nap? It was 70
No, they were the space Egyptians were gray.
minutes.
They were covered in tumors. That was a bad life. Yeah. Okay, so the Necrons nowadays, they are the most advanced in the setting. They're the only ones who like still have science, because everything else is like the Catholic Church has machines. They invented all of it. They know how all of it works, and it's so advanced it looks like magic, but it really is just fancy technology. It is powered by the gods they split apart and turned into Pokemon. For example, they have this nice little computer program sitting in a space station far away that has a 1-to-1 scale model of the galaxy, and they can pick any planet on it and delete it. And if they delete it in the computer, it gets deleted in real life. They don't do this because they don't want to break the universe, but they have it. So
They could.
they can do it if they want to. But then if they did that, they wouldn't have anybody to rule over, and they really want to conquer the galaxy again. And also get their meat bodies back. But so they're trapped in these bodies of metal that always heal themselves. Most of them are just automatons. They all have all those biological urges still. This drives them crazy. It causes a lot of angst. Some of them do weird shit like rip people apart and wear their meat on their body to feel like a human again.
Oh, so Freddy Fazbear.
Yes.
I've done it.
It doesn't work. But their ultimate goal is reconquer the galaxy and maybe find a way to get back into meat bodies again. That will probably not happen. Yeah, it's so much worse than Buffalo Bill. But their deal is they're slowly waking up now after 65 million years being asleep, and they're cranky. And also, turns out that technology doesn't start up really well after that long of a time. So weird shit's happening to them. Some of their warranty is
They wake up.
the tariffs and stuff.
They broke that little sticker
Is
that
this
says
an
warranty
army
void.
thing?
Yes. Yeah, they're my favorite army actually.
How do you
But,
kill them?
you spend way too much goddamn money on little plastic figures and glue them together.
I think like if they just transport back to like
Yeah.
their base,
Yeah,
basically.
if you like kill one, they just get beamed back to wherever built them, and they get re-put back together.
Cylons. You want BSG? They're Cylons.
Yeah, they're Cylons. Yeah. They're Cylons if they were mixed with like the Terminator back when Terminator was good.
You mean currently?
No.
Well, then they can't talk about it.
Also, so the way to summarize this: imagine if you have a bunch of old cranky queers who haven't had enough sleep, spend all their time arguing with each other.
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna cut in because I'm not actually sorry because first of all, the edible picture is excellent. So whoa. But also, how fucking queers? The Necron are the most like aggressively heterosexual. I look over.
We're not
the
gonna
world,
watch you two fight over this for 2 hours.
I look over the world, and like everything belongs to me, and therefore I should have to like fuck
Yeah,
the universe or whatever.
you should read the new books.
They're gonna fight for 2 hours.
Yeah, they fixed that.
The presentation says it. That
Okay, I'm
means
Yeah. No, they are actually the most gay of all of the factions, and
It says it right there.
this is the faction that has space lesbians. So,
Every faction has space lesbians.
Gays in space.
yeah, but one of them is just lesbians. So,
how Yeah, that's the tragedy.
They want to bone so badly but can't.
Yeah. It's a lot of yearning. So they take it out on each other by having like literally thousands of years long arguments about it.
That sounds like a polycule, not queers. It can be both.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I stand corrected. Thank you.
Come on. You've never argued with Nick?
What do you think the basis of our relationship?
There we go. Proves my point. Anyway, on to the next group of people who help ruin the world. So we have elves. This is basically a fantasy setting in space, so we have to have elves. The elves were created by the old ones to fight the Necrons. They technically won, even though the old ones all died. So maybe not. They are the opposite of the Necrons, where the Necrons are like super scientific and don't do any magic at all. These guys are super psychic and very emotional. If you think of like the Vulcans during the Ponfar, they're like that all the time.
Wow, I mean, I really hope that they don't have a really, really tortured fake slur for humans. Chris.
Oh, yes. You mean how they refer to them as monkeys?
Oh, no, I think you mean mon apostrophe K-E-I-G-H.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I said torture. The Golden Throne ain't got nothing as a torture device on that fucking.
Yeah, well, like it's a British made setting. They're gonna throw an apostrophe in the middle of a regular word and call it weird. So, they had this really big star-spanning empire when humans were still like in the Stone Age. They used to own all of the galaxy. They used to have all their own gods because they were so psychic they could create their own gods in the warp, and they'd all work together. They were also immortal, so if you died, you'd come back. They will find a way to fuck this up.
Even the cat?
They do that by fucking too hard. So this is why nobody in the setting actually fucks, because when you fuck, you destroy the galaxy. And they birthed this. This is Slanesh. This is the fourth Chaos God. They.
Just do it.
When you take a bunch of emo psychics who have nothing to do for millions of years, they're gonna take their kinks a little bit too far. They do so much fucking and so much awful fucking that they literally birth this new god.
I'm gonna quote, like, don't think these are boots, I think these are boots, and then this is actually just a very high, like, great harem, kind of.
Not just the whole planet, like their entire empire. Yeah.
What about this is not a goal?
Oh, it is.
You say like it's big.
Well, it's bad for the elves, but like,
Lesbians.
Fabulous.
they're pretty cool. So this new Chaos God and problematic non-binary icon Slash pops up, eats all of the elves that they can, and destroys the elf empire. They also eat all the Eldar gods, except for one. But so they're really powerful. All the other Chaos gods kind of get freaked out because like this isn't supposed to happen all that much, and they all kind of hate them. But what are you gonna do? So new Chaos God comes around. Now the center of the galaxy is one giant thing we call a warp storm, which is basically a chunk of hell that is in reality.
Yes.
Fun fact, all elves always have the fear of getting their soul eaten by Celeste at any time.
Yeah. So if you die as an elf after they're born, they eat your soul.
Nice.
And different elves do different things to try to prevent that from happening.
In the past, when elves died, their soul would like go home and like come back and be
Yeah.
reborn or something.
They were immortal and they would just like get reborn.
But now Slanesh eats you.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
And not in a hot way. In a food way.
Which you know.
Yeah. It's war for Slanesh, but not for anybody else.
It's ultimately a cheeseburger.
I didn't hear that. What was that?
I said, don't yuck my young, bro.
Oh no, it's fine. Like, listen,
I'm not.
it gets so much worse than this. This is vanilla in this setting. Okay.
Listen, I'm not kink shaming, but your kink is shameful.
This is our this is our representative of the Inquisition, Nick.
He says the same thing to me.
Okay, so the elves that don't get eaten need to figure out what to do. Some of them saw this coming. We're like, oh shit, we're probably gonna like blow up our empire if we keep fucking too hard. So we should leave. And we get the Craft World Eldar, is what we call them. more like van life.
You used the wrong
people.
two.
You did. You used the wrong two.
Oops. So anyway, some of these elder are like, oh shit, we're gooning too hard. We should leave. They make these giant world ships and leave the center of the empire. When Slaanesh gets born, they don't get eaten because they're not where they are. They are like, we have these really intense emotions we don't know what to do with. We haven't invented therapy yet because Freud was human. So we're just going to meditate really hard and like autistically hyper-focus on our hobbies.
Hell yeah.
And if you do that, then you don't get too horny and end up becoming food for Slaanesh.
Wait, you forgot to horny and fuck Slaanesh get to?
Yes.
Yeah.
Any fucking feed Slaanesh.
Slanesh is Jason. For fucking.
Wow. But Jason hates it.
Yeah, no, Slaanesh likes it. Slaanesh wants you to fuck so that they can eat you.
Yeah.
Like just like
Oh,
under the bed,
Slanesh
like-
is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they do this like meditation bullshit because it'll keep you from getting too emotional. When one of them dies, they all wear these special little pendants that captures their soul, and they put it back into the ship so you can like continue to power it and have all your memories be used by the next generation. However, as you can imagine, these elves are not doing a lot of reproducing because fucking kills them. So they are slowly dying out.
Oh, and the craft world is about average size is about a continent. So.
Yeah, it's like a planet that has engines that they fly around. And they all do, there's like a whole bunch of them. They all do different shit. They all have different things they want to do. They're all assholes because they're elves and elves suck. So we also have our trad wife, paleo diet elves. These are the elves who are like, oh shit, we're going to fuck too hard. We need to go back to what it was like when we were primitive. And so they live like the Amish, except they also ride dinosaurs. It's cool. They put lasers on those dinosaurs. So I have really old art from them because they've never been updated. They basically exist when someone who's writing a book wants to kill a bunch of elves but doesn't want to kill the ones that live in space, because if you kill too many of them, people start asking like, well, why are there still elves around? So they make up a planet of these weirdos and kill them instead. I don't know, they're cool, but like nothing happens with them. So they exist to get killed. Then we have the most recent faction, the Goth Space Elves. They call themselves the Inari. They are naming themselves after Aeneid, which is the Eldar god of death, who used to exist, but kind of got half eaten by Slaanesh, but maybe kind of escaped. Their whole thing is, well, if we let enough Eldar die in the right way and set their souls free, we can actually bring that god back, and she can fight Slaanesh for us. I have nothing else about them because they did one thing, and it was to bring back a boring-ass white boy for the humans, and then they've never been mentioned again.
Oh, it's those guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is if you're familiar with
It's like
Gulliman's girlfriend, this is her. He's boring and sucks.
So then we should probably move to the next slide.
Does she have
We'll get there.
for a hand?
What's that?
Does she have a fan for
Yes.
a hand?
Okay, actually no, that
They
is
do lots of like, yeah.
No, sorry.
They're very flamboyant.
With your like phalanges.
Yeah. This is why I said they're the goth elves. Yeah.
I see it now.
We still have 2 more elf groups to go through because these people are insufferable. I'll wait for Jim to finish talking before going.
Hey Chris, I'm a British guy who probably doesn't fuck as much as he should in the real world, and I want to invent a new race of elves. Can I invent a new race of elves?
Sure, what do you want them to be?
These are actually the scene elves. They made you a cookie, but they ate it.
Alright, let's get going.
Yeah, they probably live in space. Hot topic.
Love it. All right, next slide.
Anyway, so now we have the Dark Eldar.
Kinky
As you can, you don't want to. No, actually, you can smash. Like, I would say it's okay to smash anything else in this presentation except for these fuckers. If you've seen Hellraiser, the Cenobites, this is like if the Cenobites were written by your most toxic ex.
Should be left on it.
They are the worst. They are super kinky, but they don't believe in consent because they actually liked all the stuff that they were doing that made Slaanesh happen.
If it's not consent, it's not kinky.
That's what he said.
They don't see it that way. They're kind of the worst.
Also, they're not having BDSM manual sex because I can't emphasize enough. These are fictional goth space elves who don't exist.
These aren't goth. These are like a genre of metal that Luke would be able to tell us about, but I don't know what it is. So,
Oh man, I wish it was him.
so like I said, they love all the weird fucking that was going on before Slanesh was born, and they're like, oh shit, we want to keep doing this, but we want to keep our souls. What if we tortured a bunch of other people for us, fed Slanesh with that, and then we get to stay alive, and as long as we keep that flow of soul energy to our god, things will be fine.
Here's the thing, that was actually offered to me. I mean, I don't know.
No, because it's not like stuff that you'll enjoy. It's like they're gonna turn you
I'm
in.
talking about if I have to do it to other people. Not everybody's a fucking suck.
Yes, these are the ones who will turn you into a sentient couch and fuck torture you for eternity.
It's 8mm.
What are they?
Nobody knows.
Yeah, it's every like bad.
It's also she will hook the SS for sure.
They live in a little hidden city in the middle of something called Webway. This is the like space interstate system that the Eldar built to let them go through the warp without having to deal with the war. But they live there, so it sucks now.
Yeah, this is me being serious for a moment. One of the big distinctions in the races and all the setting is how do they travel faster than light? Humans go through hell. Eldar go through custom-built interstate highways.
Yeah, but it's slowly falling apart because they don't do any infrastructure spending.
This place is Texas. I keep saying.
Yeah, it's Texas. It was written by the British. Yeah. And finally, to answer any questions, no, this does not mean that you should call her, him, or them. You don't need to. They are bad. Especially if she calls you.
Do not answer.
Yeah.
When that
She will turn you into a couch, and it won't be fun. What's that?
Yeah, what kind of couch we talking? What's the design element?
How much skin do you have?
Oh, not where I'm like on all fours, human furniture.
Yes. Like literally, we'll genetically engineer your body to be a flesh couch and torture you with it. Yeah. If you've read I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, they do that to you.
I'm not afraid of transitions. So that's
Okay, next slide.
The last, and I promise these are the last elves that I'll talk about, we have the clowns. They are literally theater kids who just go around doing elf Shakespeare all the time. They are the only elves that none of the other elves fuck with because they're so good at killing things. They serve the last living Eldar god, who is their god of trickery.
Can you have an all-elf army?
Yes.
Together?
Yes, any of these factions you can build an entire army of. You will spend about $500 for a small one, but
Not to talk about the real world, but they have elaborate.
Work together, like you would just have one whole faction.
all of the elf factions will work together except with the Dark Eldar.
So you can have Slanesh and then Harlequins and then
No.
Yeah,
No.
I'm gonna get some later.
The Dark Eldar are the only ones who like have to be off on their own. Slanesh wants to eat all of the other elves. The elves hate Slanesh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Slanesh is not on the elf side. Slanesh is.
Yeah. Technically, the elves can like summon like avatars, which are like memories of their old gods, but they only exist to get bodied by something else. So they're sad. Yeah. So these clowns go around doing elf Shakespeare. They technically keep diplomatic relations between the Dark Elves and the regular elves, and also annoy one of the Space Marine factions, but I'm not going to talk about all those factions because that would take fucking forever.
If you start talking about Space Marine factions, I will throw you.
I'm not going. No, the amount of Space Marine shit I had to dump for this. Also, Space Marines suck. So,
Say Space Marine one more time.
Space Marine. Don't worry, I'm going to say it a lot in a little bit. So, Thousand Suns are basically like if a bunch of British people decided to try to be Egyptian.
I mean, that's not an if. They did that.
They literally did that. Yeah.
They literally tried.
Yeah. Also, the Harlequins guard something called the Black Library, which is funny because that is also the name of the company that publishes all the Warhammer 40k fiction.
Nickname of a few guys I knew in prison.
It is a library that has all knowledge of all time, past, present, and future.
Is it burned down?
No, because it's protected by
Suck it,
these
Quan
people.
Shi Tong. Owl God who?
Yeah.
Is that English?
Yeah, I don't know either. That was a good question.
It was an Avatar at the last air. Thank you,
No, sorry.
my friend.
We're not doing fantasy settings right now, okay? We're doing this is hard hitting sci-fi.
Sorry, I
Okay.
forgot. Hard hitting physics applying sci-fi. I heard that they consulted.
Anyway.
What's his face?
So now we're gonna get closer to the current setting. All of this shit, all these factions, popped up around 60 million years ago. So when the dinosaurs were doing their shit. I don't know why those dinosaurs got to other planets for the Tradwife Eldar. They never explain it. Anyway, so now it's your humanity, and humanity's going to fuck things up even more than they could already be fucked up. Oh yeah. Shockingly, you'll be surprised that the humans have the most prevalence in the fiction. Weird.
Wow.
I am not going to be talking about all the human factions, so they'd know we'd be here forever.
I want the titty
Can you pokey rap them?
sisters.
What's that?
Can you pokey rap them?
No. I'm white, I don't rap. Anyway, so all of this is the fault of one guy, one human guy, who is really bad. And he does it because he's a really shitty dad. So,
And is this just Gideon the Ninth? But like is that fanfiction of Warhammer?
it might be. I don't like you said it because I think maybe. But like,
50 Shades of Warhammer.
but like, here's the thing: Gideon the Ninth is more coherent than Warhammer, so it's an improvement.
But that's fix-it fanfic.
Yeah.
Why is his head so small? I wanted to
Because artists don't know how to do scale, and artists in 40K especially don't know how to do scale.
Also, like a gas suit.
So yeah, one of the things you can shorthand in the human factions is you can tell how important somebody is by how big their pauldrons are. If they got bigger pauldrons, they're more important. The shoulder bit.
This is like a 17 level pauldron.
Okay.
This is like a 15-inch pauldron. Like, I don't know if I can
Is that
handle
big?
that size of a pauldron.
We'll get to this guy. This is
You're not rolling on dubs. I don't care.
this is the Emperor, or Jimmy Space, as we like to call him. He's a shithead.
Is this the ancestral father of Dominatron?
No.
Okay.
So anyway, humanity, a few million years into the future, they're living basically Star Trek paradise for a while because they've solved all of their problems. And then the Eldar fucks Slanesh into existence, and also there's a little AI uprising in humanity.
Wait, I'm so sorry. I thought Slanesh was born like 60 million years ago. No, 60 million years ago.
It was when it started, yeah.
Yeah.
The Slanesh, birth of Slanesh is like 30, 40,000 years ago.
Got it.
Yeah. Very long time. So anyway, this.
You're 40,000 then.
Yeah. Well, maybe. But we're not getting into the timeline shit because that
You know what?
is
Fuck
its
numbers.
own
Numbers
separate
suck.
thing.
Numbers are losers.
Um,
Numbers are gay, actually.
It's very far in the future, but nobody actually knows what year it is. And that's all I'm going to say.
Handsome Chris, I have a question.
Yeah.
I always see the humans wearing these big fuck off shoulder pads.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. D'Lo, happy to be here. Now, Handsome Chris, I've seen these guys wearing these big fuck off shoulder pads. Do they look like big shouldery monsters like the Kingpin in Into the Spider-Verse? Or is the armor just big as all fuck?
That first one would make sense. No, they don't.
So they look like regular humans, but the armor's just shouldery.
Yeah. When we're talking about like the Space Marines, they're genetically engineered, so
They're
they're
slightly
technically
taller.
bigger.
Yeah, they're like 8 feet.
But their shoulder pads are even bigger.
All big as hell.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
It's a very
Also,
thick
thank
set
you
of
for
armor.
listening.
Yeah.
They don't have dicks, so it's a codpiece.
Oh,
Here's the thing. Some of them might have dicks. It's unclear.
But some of them definitely don't.
Yeah. We're not going to get into like the weird.
Sometimes you leave it at home. Yeah.
We're not going to do the weird shit where like people get. Some of the shitty fans of this get really upset. They're like, no, you can't have girls who are Space Marines because like you have to be a dude because it's the only thing that makes it work.
We can move on.
But we're not getting into that.
Actually, we need to stop not talking about the Space Marines and actually not.
We're going to talk about the Space Marines. Just wait.
We gotta talk about them.
No, right, it's going to happen. Anyway, so the birth of Slanesh and this AI uprising fuck up the entire galaxy. Warp storms are everywhere, so hell shows up in reality, breaks off the ability for humans to travel. They're fighting the AI. Everything falls apart. Earth turns into the cyberpunk Mad Max nightmare. And there's 5,000 years of this bullshit happening. And at this point is when the Emperor decides to show up. And I say show up because he's actually been around the entire fucking time. He is a dude the entire time. The Emperor's a guy who
That's the guy.
Is as old as humanity. We don't know when he was born. He's the most powerful psychic to ever exist. He was around. We have stories that he's told of being around when Jesus was alive, and he thought Jesus was an asshole. So there's that. If you're, yeah. Listen, I'm not reading the slides. You can read the slides. He claims, because he has been around for forever, that he has been guiding humanity from the shadows this entire time. Obviously, he's doing a bad job because he decides to show up after everything falls apart. He is literally a Reddit atheist. He knows that the warp exists and it's full of demons and that hell is real. And he's like, but what if it wasn't? And what if I pretended that it was fake? And that is going to cause lots of problems. So, oh, don't worry, we'll get to that part. That whole belief thing fucks up lots of things. And also maybe makes the story an entire lie. We don't know.
Yeah.
About 10,000 years before the current... Oh, okay. About 10,000 years before the current setting, he's like, you know what we should do? We should get the Empire back together. That'd be cool. We're going to go out and reconquer the entire galaxy and make a new golden age. So...
And we call it Manifest Destiny.
Yeah, basically.
When, like, they couldn't contact the other human planets?
Yeah. They were like, we're going to build a bunch of ships and fly out in the galaxy and go conquer shit. It does not go well. Because he's like, cool, well, we need soldiers to do that. And we need leaders for those soldiers. So I'm also somehow magically really good at genetics and also have all of these psychic powers. I'm going to make 18 children that all are going to have parts of my personality that I think are cool. And they're also going to have all of my flaws at the same time.
So Parenthood.
Yeah, they're going to be shitheads. Okay. And he's going to be a really bad dad. He might have... Yeah, he's a boomer. The oldest boomer. Yeah. He probably like made some kind of deal with the Chaos Gods to be able to do this, because these like 18 people are super powerful. And then he like fucked them over. So they scattered his kids across the galaxy, and so part of the crusade that he leads is to try to get all those kids back.
Oh, he's a good dad.
No.
For now.
No, not even for now.
It's a vengeful custody battle.
Wait, so he's just the freelance one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sent the kids out for milk and cigarettes and hoped they didn't come back. So to go with these 18 sons, he calls them the Primarchs because everything has to have a fancy, stupid-ass Latin name. He makes 18 legions of Space Marines. These are super soldiers. They're every sci-fi super soldier you've ever seen, but bigger.
Do they have penises?
Debatable. Some of them do, some don't. Some are furries. We're not getting into that. The werewolves are with the furries, but they're not all werewolves. Yeah, no, they're werewolves.
Next bullet point, or I'm going to put a bullet somewhere else.
Some of them are a little bit of Megaversy, so that, but that's not part of this.
Jail, and we're moving on.
So, these soldiers, things you need to know about them, they are as powerful as the plot demands in whatever book you're reading. So sometimes they're like super great, and sometimes they die real easy. There's no consistency.
They wear red shirt. They die.
No, they just like, it's not even that consistent.
Wait, hold on. I do have an addition is if whether or not they're named and have their helmet on.
That's true. Yeah, the ones who have their helmets off tend to not die as much.
The ones with the helmet on backwards, like this one, is
Yeah,
that
because one's with helmet off.
Oh, no, sorry. So, this is where the shoulder thing becomes an issue, because that's his head. This is an eagle. This is important. This is an eagle that is made of gold that sits on the back of his armor and goes above his head.
I'm starting to understand why they died.
Yeah. Oh no, this is the Emperor. He does die, kind of. Yeah, it's unclear. But yeah, yeah. So like picture like human right here, and so his like feet are like in his knees. It's as stupid as it sounds.
I've done that.
So he's like, cool, get my kids back, go out and conquer the galaxy. we're going to reunite humanity, and by reunite we mean we're going to show up at your planet, offer to let you join. If you don't, we're going to kill you until you decide to join. Because I'm an asshole. So,
up until now, everything. Oh, there's his buddy.
why is he a bad dad? Yeah, we're not going to talk about Malkador because that's too much.
Oh my god.
So, for one thing, he calls these people his kids, but he actually hates them. He's like, no, your tool is to reconquer the galaxy. That's all you should do. When I'm going to, when we're done, I'm going to kill you. So we're like, why is he a bad dad? He doesn't want his kids to be alive. He also never tells them shit. These are his generals for his war that he's running across the galaxy. He doesn't tell them that hell is real. He doesn't tell them that magic will like get you possessed by demons and you're going to ruin things. He doesn't tell you why you shouldn't listen to the weird voices in your head telling you to make a religion about him. What's that?
Did they get dental?
No. They're also genetically engineered, so their teeth are like fine. They're like
They have several organs.
yeah, they're perfectly healthy. They can't get sick unless magic gets involved. But so they don't need healthcare. It's the ultimate capitalist dream. He also doesn't tell them why he like dips mid conquest and like goes home. And his kids don't like that. So he also burns a couple of planets that belong to his kids. Like he burns their homes. One of them like thinks he's God, and he's like, "Hey, cool, I think you're God." He's like, "That's nice. I'm burning your planet down now." One of them, yeah.
Okay, the kids wouldn't believe him. They wouldn't listen and follow directions anyway. And then, like,
Have you considered that the kids might have just had bad vibes?
Yeah, I think they're just teenagers, and he knows better because he's obviously had a lot of kids.
But they all have daddy issues.
Yeah, the problem is like these are all
They were
Like-
born and teleported to different
They all
planets.
have daddy issues.
these aren't unfortunately these aren't children at the point that he meets them. They're all like in their 30s.
No, they were born, teleported to a bunch of different planets, and grew up, and then met.
I didn't write it. The British wrote it. It's not my fault. Yeah, don't shoot the messenger.
To be clear, these guys were all born and got teleported to a bunch of different planets because bullshit.
Yeah.
And then 30 some years later, the Emperor shows up and it's like, yo, I'm your dad, I'm taking over your planet.
Yeah, and if you don't like it, I'm burning it down.
Then they believe.
Yes, it ripped off Dragon Ball Z. This is a setting that is just rip-offs of everything else.
They just said, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't have a dad. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You're God.
Like Hercules.
He's like, I don't believe it, and he burned your planet.
Okay, next one.
Okay. So he managed to both be absentee and abusive at the same time. It's actually pretty magical.
As it so happens
Yeah.
sometimes. Yeah.
Anyway, so naturally, his kids, without any guidance whatsoever, and having lots of power, do what people with lots of power and no guidance do. They start fucking with chaos. Yeah. Some of them start doing magic. Some of them start listening to the chaos gods because they're like, well, at least he's talking to me.
Why is that fire?
Oh,
It's a sword.
it's a sword. But
I'm sorry.
I
I
don't know
say
what
word.
things begin
it's
with M.
it's unclear if the emperor has a penis and fucks. He might have kids, might not. But and again, you can see the giant shoulder pads on the important people. So his kids start fucking with chaos. One of them, Horus, gets upset, gets convinced that like actually maybe we should follow these chaos gods because they actually seem more powerful than my dad, and he rebels.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
Yeah. It is unclear if the Emperor saw it coming and if it was part of the plan, but that's for later. So his son takes half the Space Marines with him, besieges Earth, almost wins, but then loses because bullshit. The Emperor's like, oh, I see that you were actually bad this whole time. You're irredeemable. I'm killing you. Yeah. However, that doesn't happen before Horus, this guy, wounds the Emperor to the point where he's basically almost dead.
So I cannot believe that I'm contributing to this, but the critical thing about the Emperor dying at this point is that the Emperor dies, two things will immediately happen. One, a portal to hell will be ripped open on Earth and demons will eat the entire planet of humanity. And two, every psychic everywhere will no longer be able to use hyperspace. Every single one, all of the humanity, empire, whatever, will crumble. So it's bad.
Yeah.
He dies.
One of the things I didn't talk about is the Emperor uses his psychic power to literally make a psychic lighthouse that people can use to navigate the warp with. No, that doesn't make any sense. It goes out all the time, but somehow it's disastrous in the situation.
You can't triangulate your position from a single life source.
Yeah, these guys haven't left the house, so they don't know. So anyway, shockingly, this just makes things worse. So he's almost dead. He's in the process of dying, and they're like, oh shit, we're going to throw on this thing called the Golden Throne. It is a massive life support device / thing that is holding the gateway to hell that is on Earth open or closed.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, it's, well, I don't know, are tubes a toilet?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a toilet. It is unclear if it keeps him alive or if it just like holds his corpse. There's a bunch of bullshit technology in there that like keeps him alive, lets him power the lighthouse, but also requires like 1,000 psychics to be killed every single day to sacrifice to it. So, oh no, it's sustainable. They sustain it. There's a lot of psychics, and they harvest a lot of them.
The one
And
thing about Warhammer 40k is you expect the number to be small. It's not small. The number is really, really big.
Yeah.
Well, 40k is pretty big.
Yeah, for context,
What's the population of humans?
I was going to get into that. During the war, at least it's very common. I think it's a day, 1 billion humans die. So that's like the scale. There's probably trillions of humans.
Yeah.
They're like the rats of this universe.
Yeah.
We're
Are
gonna-
there psychic babies? Like, are the babies born psychic?
yes, so you are born psychic. We'll get to who does it in a second, but there is a fleet of ships that just go around the Empire and collect all the psychics from every planet they can to then figure out if they're going to be like trained or they're going to be sacrificed. Those ships are basically the Hunger Games for psychic kids the entire time. But I don't have time to get into that.
That's
So
the second part.
don't know. Someone else does that. Attilia can do that one.
Does he know about this?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Emperor. So the thing about the Emperor is he like wants humanity to like rule the galaxy. He doesn't actually give a shit about anybody having a good quality of life.
Also, to be very clear, the Golden Throne keeps him alive, but not in any way able to be interacted with.
Sort
He
of.
is not still ruling the galaxy, except he is, but in like a Kim
Yeah.
Jong-un type of way, where he's like the Eternal Emperor.
No, it's even dumber than that. It's,
So where exactly is Earth's back door?
it is under that.
And where is that? Can you point to it?
It's in the Himalayas.
Okay. Surprise. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Um,
Earth's back door is underneath his.
Yes. Because here's the thing. He was like, ah, shit, we should use that space highway that exists. It would be really cool if we could control it and use it from Earth. I'm going to build a doorway there. One of his other kids fucked up, broke the door, and now demons are trying to pour into Earth from... Yeah.
Fucking kid.
His kid was like 40 years old, okay? There's
Large adult son territory.
large adults on it, yeah. So he has to sit his ass on this chair and like clench the door closed with his psychic butt cheeks.
Sounds exhausting.
It is. That's why he eats 1,000 people a day.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
He's
calories.
insatiable.
Now here's the thing. It's got a big hole.
Oh my God, next slide.
It is unclear if he's actually dead, if he's kind of dead, or if he's getting better with all these things being sacrificed to him, or if this was all part of his plan in the beginning. Because people's belief makes things real. If enough people believe that he is God and believe that he is going to save humanity, and he collects all of that power in himself, he can become a new Chaos God.
This is triggering something feels very contemporary. Let's move on.
No, he's not Space Elon Musk. What are you worried about? Anyway, so the Imperium, as we know it now, in the current setting, think feudal Europe, like during the Dark Ages, without anything fun. So, you are in a galaxy-spanning theocratic fascist dictatorship. You might fly around in spaceships that are literally cathedrals with engines, but you were probably a slave on that ship. And you were probably born on it and you die on it. That actually might be a ship in the setting. I don't. Yeah, but they suck too. Because all you do is manage, right? It's not like you're a manager and you get like a better shift or better food. You literally spend all your time managing. and then you go back to your shitty little like apartment and sleep for like 4 hours, then go back to managing.
You were born into the middle management clan and you die in the middle.
Yes. Yeah. It's all hereditary.
Just to give context of how bad the worlds can be, the faction, like the human army faction, that's this for this. Their lifetime is very short.
Yeah.
Average like time on the front line being alive is like a few seconds, but that's still a better chance than in some of these worlds. So people are still lining up to sign up.
Yeah. You have basically two choices in this universe. You're either like a soldier and you're fighting and probably getting killed really quick, or you're working 16-hour shifts in shitty factories with no safety or healthcare until you die. And you're probably fed the atomized corpses of people who died on the previous shift because there's not enough food to go around. There is a lot of technology, right? We have space travel, but no one knows how any of it works. And we'll get to why no one knows why it doesn't work. And everything's falling apart. So everything sucks. Everything's evil. If you think the Imperium is right about anything, you should just like hang yourself from a bridge. They are like the bad guys and are really bad to everything. So it gets worse. A couple years ago in like real world, they made some changes. Chaos did some more chaos shit. They ended up making a storm so bad because of the stuff they did, they split the galaxy and the Empire in half. And we don't know what's happening on the other side because no one can get there or talk to them. There's demons everywhere. Things are even worse than they could possibly be. One of the Emperor's kids comes back to life. He had gotten hurt during the rebellion, was in stasis until that Eldar lady came and like kissed him on the forehead, and he got all better. So he was a little Boy Scout. He's like, cool, this Empire thing is great. I bet we could actually run this pretty nicely and like, I don't know, make people educated, give them healthcare. Now he is 10,000 years in the future for him and living in and responsible for running a theocratic dictatorship. So he is having a bad time. But he deserves it.
Technically, it's heresy that he is as Eldar GF.
Yeah, no one likes that he got kissed on the forehead by an Eldar. But he's running the Empire, so no one can stop him yet. Yeah, it's a stupid name for Robert. He's Robert. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Anyway, so now we're gonna get into the factions you can technically play as. There's more of them in the fiction, but I had to do some limiting somewhere. So these are all of the like groups you're going to see doing stuff in any of the stuff that you might get into. They are all technically allies. They all work for the Imperium, but because they're all dickheads, they're all fighting each other all the time. So it's very frequently you might see Space Marines fighting Sisters of Battle because the orders got mixed up and they're going to follow orders. So if the order say go kill these humans, they're going to go do it. They all have silly fake Latin names because it's made by a bunch of British people who still learn Latin in school because they're old. So they just make up a bunch of shit. Also, this is not an exhaustive list. This is just the big ones. So first, you've got the Astartes. These are the Space Marines. They look like this. They are dudes in power armor. They are boring because they're just guys in power armor. If you're going to spend all your money on it, you're probably going to spend it on these guys because most of their models are available. They're very expensive. It's like $60 for like 5 people.
Full armor is probably several hundreds.
Like if you're gonna play the tabletop game. Yeah. Like the little dolls are like $60. Yeah. Yeah, it's Barbie for people who touch grass more.
I mean, like crack is cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah, just do drugs. You'll have more fun.
Or if you have enough money, you can get both.
True. So, they're super soldiers. They are slightly more super now because they had this thing called the Primaris upgrades. They just made them a little bit bigger and stronger and faster. Yeah, their shoulders got bigger. It took 10,000 years for that to happen because stuff moves very slow.
Because of my favorite guy.
Yes, who I'm not going to talk about very much because it's too much. Think of like a bunch of medieval knights all with their different like heraldry and shit like that. When they're not fighting, they're taking their time to like oil each other's armor and shit. So it's all very homoerotic. They spend a lot of time like mostly naked, wearing just tabards. And no, the irony is totally lost on everyone who writes this stuff.
No, I don't know what a tabard is, but don't tell me. I just want to know.
Yeah, just there's a lot of airflow.
Like a whale tail.
No, it's not. Not even a little bit.
Don't tell me was
not. That's not even close to what it is. But anyway,
For guessing?
no. They're all broken up into things called chapters. There's
like rats.
Yes, there's like thousands of them. They're basically all fraternities in space. There are like 1,000 of them. I'm not going to talk about them. If you want some nice examples, you've got your gay brooding knights, whose leader is literally named after a gay British poet from the 1800s. You have literal twilight vampires. Yes, they literally drink blood and they sparkle in the sun.
Is that sanguineous?
Yes. You have monster fuckers. These are space marines who get possessed by demons and then do things with them. You have furries. And that's just some of them. Whatever you want, you can take your pick. And if you don't like them, you can make up one of your own. Then you've got the regular guys. This is the regular human military. They do most of the fighting. They are dudes with regular guns. And basically think of a less well-equipped U.S. military fighting horrors beyond our comprehension.
The regular guns shoot lasers.
They do technically have regular laser guns, but they suck.
They're sort of weakest.
A playable faction in the game that nobody plays because they're boring and shitty, and if they wanted to be doing this, they would just be playing.
They're actually a lot of fun if you want to play like a horde army, and they have lots of like mechanized forces, but it's still stupid.
See, you were talking, and all I heard was just a low droning sound.
Which one? Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's the sheep.
No, the middle one.
Oh, yeah, that's
Commissar.
Yeah, that's Carl starting from Gaunt. He is. There are a bunch of like Welsh, Scottish guys in space who spend a lot of time going around being muddy in the dirt together.
So you're saying it's nurture, not nature.
Oh yeah, they're nurturing each other. Yeah. They're the only things holding each other together at this point.
Yeah. Why is this called Warhammer?
So it's called Warhammer because it's based off of Warhammer Fantasy, which was just the name that they made up for it when they made the like Lord of the Rings ripoff fantasy setting.
Warhammer?
There are Warhammers. Most of them are called power hammers. They have an electric field around them that when you hit things with them, they work like the gravity hammer in Halo.
Is there only 40,000 of them?
No, there's lots.
There's
Yeah. There's so many hammers.
Thank you.
Yes, the name is stupid, but so shockingly, these guys are actually more progressive than the current day U.S. military because they don't care about your sex or gender as long as you can die for the emperor. You're in.
So it's donuts and coffee.
No, they don't. They just don't care.
There's a story to meet grind.
They fully. Yeah, they fully do not give a shit.
Very true.
Yeah, they just want bodies. So there's lots of stories about them in the fiction because they're just regular guys, and I don't know, a bunch of like Halo dudes doing stuff is not as fun as regular guys who like die easy doing stuff. But they are
bomb races.
Yeah. Okay, then you have this is the ones you probably heard of or excited about. These are the sororitas. They are the nuns with guns. Yes.
Okay.
They are the army of the Imperial Church. They are like that because the church a long time ago did a little oopsie and rebelled. So the settlement to the war was that they weren't allowed to have men under arms anymore. And they're like, cool. You don't say anything about women. So now they're like, we're just going to recruit girls and they're going to be our soldiers. Yes, that's because they're not genetically engineered.
Care about how they look.
Yeah. Well, they're not genetically engineered. Because they're not genetically engineered. They're regular people. Yeah. They wear power armor, but they're just regular people.
I mean, her boobs are a little bolt on, but they'll drop eventually.
Those were choices.
I think it probably has more to do with the fact that this was mostly written by men who stayed inside too long. But
No, I'm not concerned about the nuts. The nuts are fine.
I believe that. What is
Sorry, I keep thinking about the space and
So here's the thing: it's a shockingly accessible setting because they actually build things for people with different bodies and abilities to be able to do stuff. It just all that stuff is fighting. So they're better about that than we are.
But by the way, they believe in the Emperor so much they get strong. I forget how, but
yeah.
It's fully human. Just they believe in the Emperor enough, they get powers.
Yeah. None of them are psychic, except for one. But they have so much faith that they can like channel the Emperor a little bit, and they can have so much faith they can actually cancel out hell. Yeah. They are so Catholic that it works.
I bet you we see Lady Gaga.
They won't step on you?
They will not step on you.
That's crazy.
They will probably shoot you in the head for asking you to step on them.
I would never
And then step over my body?
What would they do if you asked them to shoot you in the head?
They'll step on you.
Yeah, they'll probably shoot you in the head.
That's for dismiss.
Yeah. They're only horny for the Emperor.
And each other?
Sometimes. Yeah. He's not around a lot, so. Okay. Now we're going to get to Jim's favorite faction. These are the Mechanicus. These are all the guys who do all the tech. So every piece of technology or machinery is maintained by these guys. They look like robots, but they are actually people who have replaced most of their body parts with robotic parts. Because they think that flesh is cringe. So picture like medieval monks who spent all their time like copying old manuscripts. They're doing the same thing with technology. So like the spaceships, they don't know how to actually build them anymore or what any of the machines do. They just know that like we have to follow these directions, and these directions are a religious sacrament. And at the end of it, you get a spaceship. So they burn a lot of incense and like wave it over machines, and stuff happens.
They don't make their machines out of football parts. That'd be horrible.
Out of what?
They use regular parts like everybody else.
There are people who do make people part.
Have you talked
Thanks.
about servitors yet?
No, but we'll get there. Yeah. That is, yeah. So AI is illegal because this is a ripoff of Dune. So you can't build a computer that has the mind of a machine. So the way around it is we're going to take a person, we're going to wipe their brain, we're going to stick them into a mechanical body, and then program the brain to act like the robot. So if you fuck up just a little bit in this world, you get turned into a servitor. All of the computers are human brains in jars that are tortured, and sometimes they still have consciousness. So it's bad. So they worship what's called the Omnissiah. Yes, using the what is it? Electronic engineering term for ohms.
Unit resistance.
Yes, thank you. They're like, oh hey, machines work because there's like some magical spirit that like makes them work, and if we make that thing happy, machines will work for us better. They think electricity is God.
Magic smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, the magic smoke. If it escapes, it's broken.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now you might think, well, hey, that's weird. I thought the Emperor was supposed to be God, and everyone worships him. What's the deal with this? Well, their way around it is, what if we just said that the Messiah is just an aspect of the Emperor? Problem solved. Yeah. It's very Catholic. However, that's not true. They made it up because they're like, oh shit, it's actually probably better if we work together than if we fight each other over the stupid religious thing. So they technically live this lie.
There's a lot of reach around, loops around the hearsay.
It's Catholicism. Yeah.
They like separated from the rest of humanity on like Mars or the moon. Or
Yeah, very long time ago.
Yeah.
Now, this is also maybe extra bad because the thing they think is the Messiah might actually be one of those elder gods that I talked about that helped out the Necrons, and he might live in a labyrinth underneath Mars.
Mars?
Yeah.
They live on Mars.
Yeah. So.
It's illegal. That is illegal.
And if it turns out like, oh, that is actually like these humans worshiping this actual other god, they'd all get killed. So we better not find out. They also have this weird thing where they got this belief that every bit of technology that could ever exist was already invented by humans during the Golden Age thousands of years ago. So you better fucking not make anything new.
But what if you say it's old and you just found it?
Well, that's how you get Belisarius' call and his it's not new. I just found it a long time ago and forgot to tell you about it. But everyone kind of knows he's a liar and don't like him, so stuff might happen.
You gotta throw a heretic in there every once.
Yeah. He also might have an AI of his own personality stored somewhere, but
As one should.
yeah.
It's not an AI.
No, it's totally not an AI. Yeah. Why would I do that? That's illegal.
They like to have weird rules about the machines. Like they have walkers, and they don't. The guy who originally made them died or something like that. So they are always on because they're scared if it turns off, it'll never turn back on.
Exactly. So they just do weird shit like that all the time. They are also the type that are so focused on finding some old piece of technology they can reproduce that they will get everyone around them killed to try to get it. It doesn't matter how small or stupid it is. If they're like, oh, that's old from old humans, we need that. They will kill everyone to get it.
The final form of tech bros, basically.
Yeah, they are tech bros. Yeah, they don't quite drink their teenagers' blood to try to stay young, but they are trying to do it with machines.
They have standards.
Yeah. They have more morals than our tech bros.
So they don't fight? How close do they get to drinking their teenager's blood?
Oh no, that's real world.
Yeah.
We were talking about the real world.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they don't do that because that would be cringe, because that's blood, which is meat, which we don't do. Yeah.
What if it was an old human manuscript that said to drink teenage blood?
No.
Really?
No, because it's not making them more machine.
They seem real picky with this innovation.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like they're a fucked up religious group that has no consistent rules, but likes to pretend it is.
That's unheard of.
Yeah, no, it would never. It's so unrealistic, you know? Fun fact about these guys, they love the Necrons. Because oh shit, the Necrons did what we want to do. They're all machine. That's got to be so fucking cool.
No. Necrons, I'm in hell!
Yep. And the Necrons are I'm in hell. Also, these kids are so fucking cringe. They don't understand that we can't breathe or poop. It's a nightmare. And they want to be like us. They sometimes work together, even though that's illegal because of that. But they hate each other. So these are the fanboys of the Necrons that no one likes to talk to. They have some fun little sub-factions. I only mention them because they have really cool toys. We get the Night Houses. So if you like chivalric Ren Fair shit, you'll like these guys. These are people who took giant farm machines that were walking mechs used for farming at a large scale. And we're what if we made them weapons? And so they literally have lances on them, and they'll run them at giant things to kill them.
Is that a castle robot?
Yes, this is a Titan. So this thing is about the size of a house. This is the size of a skyscraper. And the Titans are battle mechs that the mechanics use sometimes, and they fuck lots of things up. These guys are fast. These things are slow. So Pacific Rim and I don't know, slow mech anime here, whatever. Okay. Also, it wouldn't be Catholic without an Inquisition.
Yeah.
And nobody does. And the Imperium has one. They are like the Catholic Inquisition, but worse because they can kill more people. Their mission is to find all the stuff that could threaten the Imperium and kill it.
To find bad stuff.
Anything. They get to decide. No one gets to tell them what to do. This is like if you give every awful PhD a gun and let them do whatever they want. There's no IRB. You can just do whatever the fuck you want. They have several little specialties. The main three are the ones who kill aliens, the ones who kill demons, and the ones who kill heretics. There's a dozen other after that, but they're small, and we don't have the fucking time. Their stories are all very individual because it's they're basically supernatural episodes in space.
Heretic is someone who doesn't worship the Emperor, right?
Heretic is anybody that they say it is.
Yeah.
So if you worship the Emperor wrong, they'll still kill you for it.
If you need something they want, heresy as well.
Yeah, you could like worship the emperor, but not like the right way, or what you think is the emperor, but actually isn't, and they'll still kill you.
Or you knew someone that did that, and they're just going to kill you too.
Yeah, or you're their kid, and they'll kill you.
So Inquisition.
Yeah. We also have the Grey Knights. These are fascist demon hunters.
Swear to fucking God, I thought you said gay knights.
No, they're not that cool. That would be the Dark Angels.
Are they related to K-pop demon hunters?
Yes, that is what we call the joke.
That's the joke. That's why it's Fashpot Demon Hunters.
Just
God, learn to read.
Hold on.
You're like every student I have that doesn't do the reading. These guys are super special space marines with even more plot armor because they work for the Inquisition and their job is to just kill demons. They're so special that they can't even be possessed by demons except for like one time. They're deeply boring. It's hard to see, but this is one of their battle suits. It is literally just one of them in their regular suit of armor in a little baby carrier on the front of the mech. So like those shitty things in the Matrix.
We call them a papusa.
Thank you. They're bad and dumb. They have the worst lore.
Fun fact: if they encounter chaos on a planet, everyone's dead.
Yeah, they will kill everyone because technically they don't exist. So if regular humans see them, they get killed. So, yeah.
Who do they don't exist? Who do they answer to?
The Inquisition. So the Inquisition can send them to do things, but like regular people who see them operate, even if they like survive the demon invasion, they get killed anyway.
The Emperor sounds awesome. I fuck with the Emperor though. He's got a lot of cool shit.
He does a lot of cool shit, but he's a bad guy.
Have 18 kids and all of them have daddy issues still.
Yes.
You gotta, he's, he does have one, but he hates him the most. So, yeah. Because he's like, you don't get it. You think I love people. I actually hate people. I just want humanity to live.
My question is hell popping up other places than Earth that the Grey Knights are sent to?
Yes, all the time.
Oh.
Because like you get a psychic who just like does a ritual, they can like summon demons to where they're.
Only really stopping hell on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
There's like
last question. Is hell the warp?
Yes.
I kind of got lost with the
Yeah, hell and the warp are the same.
Okay.
That's
So
where the
warp is
demons
hell,
come from.
and We're in not the warp right now.
Yes.
Okay, type shit. But there's an interstate in hell.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the elves use the interstate, humans just off-road it.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I did say last question. I have one more question.
Go ahead.
The elves are not in the war.
Some of them are.
Okay, so it's
everyone's fighting. Everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, so like the biracial.
There's those little tiny towns that are wrong.
Right.
That's where some of the elves
Yeah. Yeah.
But then there's big cities.
Right, big cities in and out of the war. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If Emperor's against the warp is hell.
Yeah. And here's the thing: sometimes it's not like that because whoever's writing the book at the time just makes it up.
You just explained to me Warhammer is basically a collection of fanfics.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, literally.
All sex-based fanfics.
Yes. There's this weird thing so this thing's been around for like 30, 40 years. They've never done anything. Every time they've like written something and then added something to it, they don't say that the old thing isn't true anymore. So even stuff that contradicts is still true.
And
And these are British, so they're worse.
If you sit there and you're like, hey, this contradicts that, they'll say like, wow, that sounds like the kind of thing a heretic would have.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It's a very complex setting, you know.
My hands were full. I'll be right back.
Okay. One of the.
Everybody shame Christopher who forgot to bring me the water bottle.
It's okay. We all forget things sometimes.
No, can everybody all boo me? I kind of want it. That's really hot.
Kind of last, we have some. You can play these guys if you want to
last of the humans.
Yes, last of the humans.
Other ones.
We have the custodians. They are not janitors. It's just bullshit Latin again. They are super soldiers who are even more super than the other super soldiers. They are literally artisanally crafted by hand by people on Earth to be extra really good soldiers. What's that?
Double the super.
Yes. They're the most super. They're actually also taller than all the others. And you can find a picture online of all the different super soldiers, and they are all taller than the ones below them.
What's like the average height? Like 7 foot.
They're like what, 7-8 feet tall? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they're big boys.
But their armor gets to fit them this time.
Well, see, here's the thing. They're not flashy like those Space Marines or those Grey Knights. They are the personal bodyguard of the Emperor. They are professionals.
it feels like the broker you are, the bigger your shoulders are. That's kind of how it
Yeah.
feels like.
Yeah.
And they all think like the
The
Emperor.
Emperor has insane shoulders.
Oh no, the Emperor's broke as fuck though. So
I think there's actually a bell curve.
Yeah.
It's like you have nothing, you look cool. You middle it cursive, and you get like really fucked up long
Yeah.
arms, and then you become super, and then you're back to normal.
Yeah.
Is that how you tell the class divides between soldiers?
yeah, that's how big their shoulders are. Yeah.
At the bottom, they got them fucking Oscar the Grouch fucking trash cans on their shoulders.
So they're like super powerful, like literally plot device powerful, but they don't do a lot.
Because then things would have to get fixed.
Yeah, because then they'd have to like be competent, and we can't have that happen. Nothing's allowed to progress. It's just all the same all the time.
Or worse.
Or worse. It could get worse. It cannot get better. They work a lot with the Sisters of Silence. These are just regular ladies with giant swords.
Yeah, that's what they are.
And they have a special gene that was probably like inserted into humanity by one of the Satan that lets them turn off psychics. Like if they walk into the room and if you're psychic, you will just die.
Oh, like not like they're unattractive people.
No.
When does the other?
A fun fact about Sisters of Silence: the reason they're like rare in the population is because they give off, even to regular humans, this disturbing "I need to kill this thing" feeling.
Yeah.
So a lot of them die as babies, something like that.
Yeah, these kids literally have bad vibes. They are the ones who go around harvesting psychics who sacrifice to the Emperor, because they're the only ones who can like show up and make those psychics stop doing shit.
Wait, so the psychics don't just auto die?
After a long enough time, they will. But like, and if you're like super powerful, you can override them. It's whatever the story requires at the time. But generally, like if you're a scared like psychic kid, like they're gonna like make you shut up. Oh, I'll say last human faction is the newest. These are dwarves in space. Yes, they are a Deep Rock Galactic ripoff. All they do is mine shit.
Well, I'll argue Deep Rock Galactic is ripoff.
They were made after.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
these guys come out after Deep Rock Galactic.
Well, technically, there was like
They were there, but then they weren't. And they're different because they were part of the Tau Empire. We're not. One of the things on my list of shit that I didn't cover are the Demiurge, and we're not getting into that.
If your faction isn't a Space Marine, your releases are very scattered.
Yeah.
Like Games Workshop.
Yeah.
my name's on there.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So here's the thing. So they had AI. They don't call it that because the Imperium would get mad at them. But they had it for a long time because they were isolated for quite a while. Those computers are having a rough time because they're getting uploaded with all of the experiences of the other dwarves. And that's making them slow down and overload because that's how computers work.
Yeah, it's called overtraining. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
Or overfitting or some shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're doing that.
It's actually a real thing.
That's it. That's all we know about them.
Yes.
They are
very underutilized by GameWorks.
Yeah.
I was about to ask, like, do people play them a lot, or like?
They're like a couple years old, so people are starting to play them, but like they haven't finished making all of the toys yet. So I don't know. They're kind of cool, but we don't know anything about them yet. Okay. Chaos. These are people who work for or get corrupted by the war. Most of the time they're human because most of the stuff that happens is against humans. You can be a Chaos Space Marine or a Chaos regular guy. They are just the evil twisted version of people. They serve one of the gods. They are the regular bad guy in most of the stories. They do lots of fucked up shit.
It's Chris.
You could. It'd be a mistake.
It's Chris. So chaos isn't a god. It's the force of chaos.
Yeah, all of the like chaos gods are part of chaos.
So
Yeah.
is the force of chaos also magic?
Yes.
And it's in the warp.
Yes.
So,
And the
but
warps.
There is a physical manifestation.
Yes. They can like they do the like supernatural ghost thing where like they have to have like an anchor in reality, and if you destroy that anchor in reality, they go back into the warp.
And is chaos the major villain of the whole thing?
Yeah, essentially.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. They're like the worst. Everyone's a bad guy, even the good guys. So you have to have someone even worse. That's them.
Okay. Doing a great job. You're doing a great job.
So I don't know. They're fine. They have lots of different sub factions. I'm not getting into them because I don't care. All right. Last but not least, we have like 3 other factions. They're still shitheads. They're there. They have some cool stories, but most of the focus is on the human stuff. First, we have the Tau. If you like blue anime aliens, this is your faction. They say they're the good guys because, like, we feed our people. We let people who join us. We don't actually hate all aliens. We like making new technology. They're also still the bad guys because if you join them, you live in a rigid hereditary caste system. They will mind control you and send you to re-education camps if you don't fit in.
Catholic Church.
No, that was the other stuff.
Oh, okay.
This is
It sounds like evangelism.
What happened?
this is
Catholic Church?
no the human stuff is the Catholic Church.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're
These are
a little bit space communists.
yeah they're like space communists. If your like grandmother was right about communists.
I knew the right arm wouldn't survive.
So they're very small. They only have like a dozen worlds or something in their empire. They're brand new. They're relatively young as a species. They are also unique in that their souls are like kind of tiny, so demons don't really pay attention to them all that much because they can go eat people instead.
Like a baby carrot.
Yeah. But that is changing because they're letting humans into their empire. Humans like getting eaten by demons. And demons are learning, oh, hey, these blue alien guys taste pretty good.
Over under on them being mind controlled by their ethereal leader.
Almost certainly.
Almost certainly.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which is why these guys exist. These guys are like 4 planets founded by their commander named Farsight. He's like, these ethereals suck. They're mind controlling us. Also, they didn't tell us that hell was real. Yeah. He's like, yeah, our leaders have like told us that these demons that we've actually fought are just like weird aliens. They're not demons from hell. We know they're demons from hell. So fuck these ethereal dudes. We're gonna go off on our own and make our own little like kingdom. Yeah, they've got like 7 major leaders. So there's this whole like Kurosawa thing going on. They've got like 3 stories. That's it. So if you want like edgier, like Ronin to your samurai, these are the guys. They like sword fighting a lot.
They're sick as hell. That's what
They're fine. The Tau suck.
They're weebs technically. Or,
Yeah, if you're a weeb, you like the Tau. So, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but I don't know. Second to last, we have the orcs. These are boys. These are boys who love their work so much they've never worked a day in their life. All they do is run around fighting things, and they fucking love it. It is all they do. They all speak with Cockney British accents because they are based off of soccer hooligans. And they're mushrooms. They're made of fungus.
Yes.
So like they're little spores later on a planet. They grow into little mushrooms. Yes.
The Mushroom Kingdom.
They are very fun guys. They are always having the most fun all the time. They have so much fun fighting, they will intentionally throw their ships into hell just so they can go fight demons more. And demons will go, nah, fuck that, we're leaving. And we'll like get out of the way of an orc ship because like now these guys like fighting too much. They're great.
One fun sub story is one of their favorite human they like to fight got killed, and they're so mad about it they're going to try to kill the chaos god that did it.
With their robo parts.
In fact, that same guy was fighting them for like 100 years, and literally has an arm that is an orc arm.
And this is a regular human.
Yeah, it's just a regular dude. Because he did such a good job fighting them, the orcs were like, this guy's really fucking fun to fight. Of course he deserves one of our arms.
Nice.
So he can wear it and use it. Because they have this thing, they're like kind of psychic, but the way their psychic bullshit works is if they believe it's true, more so than anybody else, it's reality.
Red, go faster.
Exactly.
Yes.
They are the power of friendship.
Yes.
Yes. Technically, their sips shouldn't work, but they believe they do, so they work.
They build a thing that looks like a gun, and they shoot it because they think it's a gun, and so it works.
It's very like, I'm going to kill you with the power of friendship and this gun that I found.
The power of friendship is the power of hate.
Yes. Well, they don't hate. They just really like fighting, and everyone else makes really good things to fight.
Power of murder.
In fact, the thing they hate the most is if you suck at fighting. They will just be. They're not going to be mad. They're just disappointed. And they'll kill you anyway. Now, here's the fun thing about the orcs. The orcs believe a thing and it's reality. The orcs believe that the Emperor is alive on the Golden Throne. The Emperor might only still be alive because the orcs think he is. Because they...
wonder on the Emperor only being alive because the orcs think he is.
As even as any of the others. Yeah. So things might still work because they want it that way.
If they're fungus, are they like not? And I hate to ask if everyone's fucking, but are they fucking?
No,
they're doing whatever mushrooms do, where they like shoot spores everywhere.
Yeah, they're just firing spores off.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they die, they just turn into spores and just spread again.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
What's the reason nothing gets better?
It's possible.
uses the Bible as an argument.
Do they like the Emperor?
The Bible as an argument.
They don't care about the Emperor. They just like that the Emperor seems to make a bunch of people that they like fighting. And that's all they care about. All right. Last but not least, we have the Tyranids. These are the hive mind in your local area that want to eat you and turn you into more of them.
Magic the Gathering, Universe Beyond?
Listen, I did like a 2-second Google search for these images. I don't give a shit.
Tyranids rule. You're just...
No, they're boring. All they do is they go from planet to planet, they eat everything, they strip it of all its minerals, and they make more Tyranids, and they move on to the next one. No, the Zerg are Tyranids because, fun fact, StarCraft was originally going to be a 40k strategy game, and then Games Workshop was like, video games aren't going to work, so we should pull the license. Blizzard went, we're going to still make the game, just change it a little bit, and that's how we got the Zerg. Yeah. Yeah. Get fucked, Games Workshop. Yeah. No, that's why they're... Yes. Yeah. It's why the Terrans in StarCraft have Space Marines.
No, the Protoss are the Eldar.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they're the Eldar.
I was just like Big Macs.
No, the Protoss are definitely the Eldar.
Yeah. The elves also have big mix.
Yeah. So they're like they're the xenomorphs from Alien, basically. They'll show up on your planet. Whatever you do, they'll adapt to it.
Oh, okay. My knowledge of StarCraft is minimal.
They will send these things called gene stealers because they steal your genes.
Sydney Sweeney has
that. Here's the thing: if you want to get if you're a monster fucker or want to get like ovipositor, these are your guys. Because these gene stealers will find you and plant an egg inside of you, steal some of your genes, and you will make a human Tyranid hybrid. That happens for a couple generations. You make a little cult about how these things are going to come and save you. And then right when the fleet shows up to eat your planet, they cut the cord and you are left with the realization that you've just doomed your planet.
And they do that because they think that's funny. Or
Yeah, and they do it because it's funny. Yeah.
Do all these other factions have gods?
No.
They're just godless. Okay.
Chaos does because they worship the chaos gods. The orcs do because they're orc gods. And they're just two gods who like fighting.
Did the orcs just believe in their own god enough to exist? Or
Yes. Yeah, they just like, yeah. That's how all gods work. If you believe in a thing enough, like it manifests as a god in the war.
Yeah. Isn't the orcs' whole thing is like they make it good because they really want it to be a god?
So they're like, yeah, of course we have two gods. All they do is fight each other. Because that's what we do.
For me,
That's what gods do.
For me, the scariest thing about the Tyranids is something called the Shadow and the Warp. The Tyranids have
Yes.
no overmind, like Zergs do. They have a psychic rapport that makes them smart. And when the Tyranids show up in your solar system, the first thing that happens is every single psychic on your planet has a seizure, goes insane, and dies. And if you remember, in this setting, psychics are the only way to communicate faster than light. The first thing that happens when the Tyranids show up is they remove your ability to call for help.
Yeah, another fun fact. It's theorized that what is not seen in the Warhammer universe, like outside of that galaxy, is just already eaten by Tyranids, and that section's the last part left.
Yeah. So like these things are kind of unstoppable, so they might actually be the things that win the setting if they ever let the setting go forward. But they
Except
won't.
maybe Necrons.
Yeah. Part of the reason why the Necrons came back is because they saw these guys coming and were like, oh shit, we should fix that. And that's it. So I don't know. They're fun if you like playing mindless bugs that eat everything. They don't have any like characters or personalities. They're just a big hive mind. So that's why they're last, because they're boring. Okay. Well, in conclusion, I'm fucking tired. So are there any questions?
Yes.
No.
I have a question. I have a question. Thank you so much.
Hi there, handsome Chris. It's me again, and I have a question.
Yes, of course.
Buzz Lightyear was actually a part of Star Command. Could Star Command of Buzz Lightyear fame be a faction of the Space Marine?
Yes.
I'm sorry, and if so, what would that make Zerg?
Probably, I would probably say like a Chaos Lord.
Thank you so much.
Here's the thing.
Zerg's one of the fucked up Necrons.
Yeah.
Professor,
Yes.
which of the species in your presentation are safe to fuck?
Who's safe to fuck is the question.
Who isn't?
And the answer is anybody if you're creative enough and you don't mind meeting Slanesh, which, you know...
Yeah. When you say safe, do you want like you're gonna be alive afterwards, or
Then none of them.
At least my soul will be destroyed.
Humans still fuck. That's how they.
the humans do still fuck, but it's like not fun. They do it because they have to.
Yeah.
It's Catholic.
No, which one would you fuck?
Oh,
Obviously the Necrons. Why do you even have to ask?
Oh wait, I think you skipped.
Keep going. Keep going.
No,
Keep going.
Oh, there.
that guy.
The one who canonically cannot fuck.
Yes, but he's a good lover.
What the fuck does that mean?
He goes around collecting lots of fun little specimens for his little planet museum,
Hey, like when I sent you Twitter memes.
and he interacts with people a lot and has been doing it for a while, so he would know every way to please a man. Also, look at how he's sitting. Come on.
Wait,
To the fucking swamp.
that just looks like a
Top is
giant
like, nope, the
hook
swamp's the place to go.
That's the
no.
fuck up.
Yeah.
It's the shoe polishing chair at Ripcord. Wait, hold on.
Problem solved.
Hey, can we do poppers? Can we do poppers and not sharing?
You need the mic for that?
Who's fucking what?
Alright, doing poppers.
It's not a chlorinated pool.
Any final questions? Oh, I guess I didn't answer Mia's. I don't know who's safe to fuck. I guess it depends on how you do it.
Mia hilariously is not listening at all.
That's okay.
Totally checked out.
Oh, question.
Oh, Malachi?
Chris, what is a hammer?
It's the thing I'm gonna do to your dick.
No.
What's your favorite
Again.
hammer? Name all the hammers.
Wait,
No.
Yeah!
Bodacious.
not related to the space setting, the fantasy setting. There is a big hammer carried by like the human god, and that's probably a warhammer.
If this is part one, how many parts are there?
11d5.
How many years
Go
left in
decide
your
where
life do you have?
where you cut off.
Not enough.
Yeah, we could do this forever.
Yeah, so you still decide where you cut off.
Oh yes. So just as an example, as I was making this, there was stuff I was like, oh shit, I can't talk about that. That is all the stuff that I didn't talk about. That is all stuff that is relevant to what I talked about today that I didn't have fucking time for.
Can you talk about it?
Fucking Erebus.
If you want to play Warhammer, how do you play?
How do you physically play the
well,
physical game?
here's my first piece of advice is don't.
But that is one opinion.
You will lose all of your money. Buy it from the Warhammer website.
Right, yeah. Well,
Or go to the store that's in the suburbs.
Or Asgard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you want to, first before you get your minis, you have to get the core book, and then the book for your faction, and then some data cards.
Yeah. And then you have to build the toys and then paint them.
So much fucking money.
You could just buy the video games, yeah.
How do you build an army with them?
That's a lot of money.
You find the like faction toys that you want. You paint them how you want, and then you just make up whatever the fuck story you want for them.
Yeah.
Because it's all canon.
Yeah.
Handsome Chris.
This sounds like an MLM.
It is.
No, MLM implies that you might actually make some money off of it. The only person make
At least tries to tell you that you'll make money off
yeah. This is just buying toys.
Handsome Chris. If I steal a step from someone, stab them, and make intense, maybe sexual eye contact with them, and tell them that Korn did it, would the police let that go legally?
Corn wouldn't.
It depends on whose police they are.
Is this a matter of how sexual the eye contact is?
It's a matter of the jurisdiction.
You'll get Inquisition.
I'll get Inquisition, okay.
If the humans catch you doing it, you'll be killed. If the Dark Eldar catch you doing it, they might be like, well, I don't know. You
Wait,
can.
I've got a question actually, and this was my problem with Dragon Age Inquisition. Does the organization that is called the Inquisition in this game at any point perform inquests?
Yes, all the time.
Okay.
They are like if you put a bunch of academics on fieldwork all the time and gave them the power to nuke things.
Okay, you know what? Point for them.
Okay. To answer his bigger question, it's like in the rule books there are units related to the factions, and you have like a leader, then normal army, and then vehicles, and that's why it gets expensive.
All right. Any final questions? Okay, because I'm not talking about this for at all. Yes.
Oh, sorry. My bad. I remember a different reason.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, just stretching. God, I'm having flashbacks.
Less of a question, more of a comment. I like
No.
I like your slutty tank top.
Thank you. I like it
You know
too.
what? No, hold on. Hold on.
Everybody say thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
I'm not doing this for at least another month.